All right, hey guys, welcome back. Hopefully everyone's doing pretty good, well, safe. Um, have another topic to talk about with you guys. This is the next kind of topic I talk about with my groups and in individual therapy. And again, reason I kind of do these topics is because it kind of lays the foundation and creates this new narrative and mindset of how what we kind of tell ourselves of what is happening, our perspective, our reality. These values also help us tell us what's right and wrong. So it shapes the world around us and how we look at it, and just how we cope with life. Life's challenges. So this next one I have for you is my topic about being humble. So humility. So I put a quote up here. C.S. Lewis, not humility is not thinking less of yourself, but is thinking of yourself less. I really like that quote, so that's why I put it on here. So, let's just get right into it. What is being humble? Being humble. So when you are humble, you are confident. You understand your strengths and your weaknesses, your skill sets. But knowing this, you're open for help and new information while being modest. So let's kind of piece that apart a little bit. So you're open for help and new information. So basically this just tells yourself that you don't know everything, right? What I will tend to say is I am well informed with certain things, but I don't know everything. I'm going to mess up. I'm going to make mistakes. So if you come into a situation and being humble, understanding, even if someone's trying to tell you something and you're like, I don't really think this person knows what they're talking about, you're going to entertain the idea because you don't know everything and you could be wrong. And even if they're not wrong, you're going to have empathy and understand that they think they're right and they're trying to just show you. Probably the intention is just try to help you, but sometimes it could be other intentions, power, or just feeling good about themselves. But even if that's the case, like, hear them out, and if you don't have time to hear them out, just respectfully say, oh, well, thank you for trying to help me, but I would like to do this on my own, or I'm trying to. If I mess up, I'm trying to learn as I go. Um, so you're open to new ideas, information. You're not going to close people off because you don't know everything, and you're instead of not to be graphic, but just keep banging your head against the wall, trying to figure something out. It's okay to ask for help. You know, I'm not saying that you should enable yourself and ask for help all the time, but you should ask for help if if you've tried it yourself, you're being independent, and you really just need some help. And so instead of trying to figure it yourself, like that's why we have relationships, support system. Um, and so when you do succeed, so this is being that modest, you're not seeking that validation or that bragging about yourself, like how good I did and I'm awesome, ha 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 ha. Like you don't need it. Like you already know internally, I did well, I succeeded. You mentally pat yourself on the back, right? And you kind of just go on. You don't. I know these type of people who they do well at something and you have to hear about it 10 times. It's not really enjoyable to be around. But they're not being, I'm not saying they're not a good person, but they're not having that humility that they are constantly patting yourselves on the back in front of you, like wanting you to congratulate them too. So, okay. So we already said some of this. Trust in yourself and your ability, but doesn't mean you need to brag or seek attention with their abilities. So it's kind of like we were just saying. Um, you know you have your strengths, you know you have your weaknesses, and you don't need to seek attention for those strengths and for those weaknesses. And honestly, if like I really need to get back into it, but I really love doing art, and I've heard a lot of times like, hey Anthony, that's really good drawing you've done, and or that's a really good piece of artwork, and I'm like, thank you, I appreciate it. Um, or I'll say, yeah, thank you, I thank you for bringing that up. I really enjoyed this piece or working on this, or I feel like it kind of worked out well. Um, and that's fine if someone is praising your work, just accept that, and or you can even like, thank you so much. I really enjoyed your work too. Holding them up too. You're all about letting your actions speak for you. Um, and you being happy with something and content with it, like that you don't need to you don't be like, hey man, I did a great job, did you see all that artwork I did, guys? People are not going to really respond that well. And lastly, their confidence comes within internally and not externally, meaning my happiness and my confidence comes from me within internally telling myself that I did well, I succeeded. It doesn't come from, it can, but it doesn't need so if you're humble, it doesn't need to come from praise from other people, because if it has to come that way, you're going to get in a situation you don't do well. If you can't internally praise yourself, then you're seeking that from everyone else and they don't give it to you. You may resort to acting out to get attention. You may resort to making bullying, making them feel bad for succeeding, and or just making up these rational excuses. You know what I mean? To like make up for that, compensating. You know what I mean? Like, well, I only won because I had this guy on my team or something like that. It's not a good habit. So just you feeling successful comes from you telling yourself. It doesn't have to come from everyone else what they think. Basically, don't care what other people think. Okay. And moving right along. All right. So now we're getting into, yes, the habits. The habits of things to do to become more humble. All right. Number 1, understand you are not the center of the universe. Your actions affect other people. So when I work with younger kids, think of Piaget and his developmental stages of cognitive development. Kids who tend to be, I don't remember the exact age, but think of 8 or younger, they kind of think they're the center of attention, right? And they have a really hard time with this empathy and understanding how my actions affect other people. But if you're humble, you understand that, there's other people in this world, they don't all revolve around me. And it kind of goes to number 2, think win-win. This is again out of the 7 habits of successful people. If I include people within my success, like I want to succeed and I want you to succeed. Like we were just saying before, if my confidence relates on what other people say or think of me, then I tend to not think win-win, because I want to tear them people down. I want them down so I can feel good about myself, that they'll praise me and say nice things to me and stuff like that. But if I'm humble, I want when we win, I want to feel good, but I want to make sure you feel good too for succeeding. I want you to feel good that are accomplished. And number 3, this goes along with that. You share the credit. It doesn't. Internally, you could, if it was the reality situation. Let's say if you did most of the work, if you share the credit, and the thing is, you did most of the work. Doesn't mean you did all of the work. It doesn't mean you won by yourself. I'd say 99.9% of the time you did not win by yourself. And you had those people who contributed doing something, right? So don't even if you feel like you were 90% of why you succeeded, I want to challenge yourself. Don't, don't brag about yourself. I want you to put all the success on other people. And I'm not saying to BS and lie, but I want you to find something they did well at, praise them for it, and encourage them to keep doing it. Um, and you'll make them feel good about themselves, and in turn, you know what they're going to do for you? They're going to praise and encourage you. So it's like a two-way street there. All right, number 4. We already kind of said this. It's okay to ask for help. You don't know everything. So, listen. If any teenagers are listening, you don't know everything. I know that because I don't know everything. Number 5. This goes along with that. Don't talk over anyone. Be open to listen, especially if you have time, right? And this goes with that. You don't know everything. You're open for new ideas and information, even if you don't think they're valid, right? But you're open to it. That's how you learn and you grow. Now, if you go in the world in this mindset, you know everything, you have nothing else to learn, all these other people are peons and they can't teach you anything, you're going to live in this box, right? So, entertain people. Be open to listen if you have time. And now, some people who don't have a lot of good developed social skills won't read that, and as to say, if they won't let you talk as well, then you go, okay, well, thank you for sharing. I need to get back to what I was doing. I'm going to get out of here and be assertive in that way. But that's a whole other video. We could talk about social skills and stuff like that. So, you're open to listen. And then we have one more slide here. Oh, that was the wrong one. Number 6, don't be afraid of challenges, seeking to learn from failing and understand we have limitations. Basically, this is talking about we're going to fail. We're going to fail a lot, right? And if we try to hide ourselves from the discomfort of failing, we're not going to grow a lot, right? We have limitations. When we go into something, we're not going to be the best at it automatically. I'm sorry. And sometimes we're going to fail 10 times before we succeed, Don't be afraid of those challenges. Understand whatever skill sets and strengths you have, they can still be even sharpened even more and still grow on. So, number 7, big one. Be open to constructive criticism. Now, this is a very hard to try to explain. And you'll know when people are trying to give you constructive criticism or just trying to tear you down, right? But I want you to assume and believe that everyone who is giving you pointers or telling you something you're doing wrong, that they're trying to be constructive, right? Because if you look at it in that lens, that the intention is trying to help me strengthen my skills or whatever it is that we're doing, then I'm not going to be defensive about it, right? I'm going to be open to, because we're believing we don't know everything. There's things that will slip by us, and there are things that we could, we're not seeing that we need to do. My habit, I think this has helped me a lot. When I want to do constructive criticism with someone, I will start with something that I see that they're doing well and I like. And once I establish that there's something that I like that what they're doing, then I'll hit with the second part with what I think they can still work on or do or should consider doing differently. Because if you start with the praise, like, oh, thank you for that, and then I'm like, so with that said, have you thought about blank, or the way that you're shooting or throwing this ball, have you thought about changing up and doing this, because this could probably make you throw better, or whatever the situation is. All right, number 8, be confident, own up your own mistakes. Failure doesn't mean low value or self-worth, so / accountability. So this is about not avoiding that discomfort of failing, not avoiding that discomfort of mistakes, because that's how we grow, right? Making mistakes. And if we own up that accountability to mistakes, it doesn't mean that we have the lesser value, right? It doesn't mean we don't have to be confident, right? And talking about confidence is how you build that up is feeling that success over and over again, and then that comfortability. And it doesn't mean you have to win every time to feel successful. Maybe you did better this time than you did last time. Like, and you're growing. Like, think of a game that you're playing with someone and they're really, really, really good at it, and you keep losing, but every time you play, you're getting better and better, and they have a harder time trying to win. You can feel successful, right? And especially then you fight, or you not fight, but you play. I'm thinking of a fighting game. You play someone who's more of a novice, and you do really well, and you're like, oh man, thank you. I mean, I'm glad you didn't take it easy on me. Now I have built my skills up because of every time I've played, and I'm getting better and better. Number 9. So even though that you have all the knowledge that you know what to do in this situation, if you're humble, you don't have to take that lead. Right? We talked about someone trying to tell you what to do, and you're trying to figure out on your own, and asking for that space to do it. You're just kind of letting that happen. Instead of doing something for someone, let them have the lead. Let them try to make the mistake first, and then when they want your help, let them come to you for help. Not to feel like, oh, I'm big and bad, or I'm super smart, and let me show you how to do this right here. Move over. Like, when you feel like they want to take control, let them have control. Let them have the lead. You just be as this support on the side, and all right, well, just come find me if you need more help. But let them do it themselves. And number 10, be grateful for all things and opportunity. This is just kind of, I put this on here. You are remember we talked about confidence, those feeling successful for the little things. So what you're doing is you're being grateful for all the small successes that you have. Like, I got out of the bed and went to work. Even when I didn't feel like it. Or maybe I told myself I was going to read for 30 minutes and I did it. Just the small things, right? And all the small opportunities. Like, think of, I think, like I just said, the word opportunities for something. And number 11, this is a whole topic concept all in itself, but to be patient. Most situations are not ideal, so you may have to be patient and kind of just have a goal set and work at it and then you start seeing that confidence build, and which takes time, and that patience, and then you understand that that you're not going to be the best at something overnight, basically. Like, so you're humble in that way. You understand that limitation, that it takes time to build skills, right? And if you understand that and have that included with you being humble, you tend not to give up on things. You tend to be patient and understand that. Progress takes time. Some situations, right? Getting good at something takes time. And being okay with the discomfort of not being the best at something when you try. You don't know how many times I will do an activity or a group with adults or kids, and they don't even want to play because they know they're not good at it. I'm like, that's not the point. The point is to play and have that failure if it comes, being okay with it, and then getting good or building skills while you're playing. Because if you just give up and not play and don't be patient and like, oh, I'm not going to do it, right? Then you're going to miss out on a whole lot of opportunity. All right. So this was a quicker topic, but very important. Being humble. Like I said, there's a couple of things to pick out. Being patient, being grateful, be open for criticisms, know that you don't know everything, be open for new information. And when you succeed, I want you to pick everyone don't verbally brag about yourself. Pick other people to brag up to and make them feel good about it, right? Pick something they did well and brag on them. It'll make you feel good and it'll make them feel good, and I guarantee you they'll praise you back. All right, well, again, you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for listening. Any questions or comments, put them down below. And like I said before in previous videos, I want to build this community of support for each other. Life is tough, can be tough, especially with things going on nowadays. We have the internet to kind of connect and talk with each other and support each other. Why not do it? And I just want to kind of open the stage for these topics, and they've helped people before talking about this stuff, and I hope it helps someone. All right, well, you guys take care, and I'll see you next time. All right, bye.